Bang, Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and my lovely wife, Kara, is at work. And the Artisan Arion. I was really drawn to this knife when I did see it drop, and I instantly wanted to get it. So I think it just has a great look to it. I seen that it had micarta. Now, I really wanted the other micarta, but at the time when I got this, they didn't have any of the brown or green micarta, which I personally think looks a little bit better. But Artisan has a lot of knives. They also have the CJRB line. So if you're interested in trying something like this out, they have lots of other knives as well. So definitely check out Artisan Knives. And I'll try to get a link for this. I don't know if I'll be able to, but yeah, CJRB is killing it, and so is Artisan. They have really good quality micarta. I'm very impressed with their micarta. And let's get into this knife. So this knife is very compact and thin. The titanium is well done. It does have a milling pattern on there that looks really nice. It's very subtle, but you can see it, especially in person. Excuse my hands, we had a spillage at work with some cherry stuff, so I might be dyed a little bit red. Anyways, so like I said, the micarta is really good quality, and then the S35 VN blade, drop point blade, is well done in a lot of ways. I do have a couple complaints that we'll get to here in a second, but the ergos, very neutral grip. Even though it is very thin, it's tall in this direction, so very nice in the hand. I'm very happy with the way it feels in the hand. It is thin though, so you know that it's not like it's going to be a palm filler, but it's very doable. The jimping on the spine of the blade is very well done. I actually really like this kind of jimping. It works extremely well. It gives you a lot of traction. You have this little spot right there that you can lock yourself in really good, and you don't have to worry about sliding up the blade at all. Very comfortable. The blade, it cuts extremely well, and it passes through materials extremely well. You have a lot of control in the handle, and pushing it through cardboard, it's very good. It doesn't have quite a full flat grind, but the geometry is done very well. Behind the edge thickness after sharpening is almost 20 thousandths. I measured about 18 to 20 thousandths. So not bad, considering the blade stock thickness is not very thick. So passing through materials, it works extremely well, and it's nice and comfortable when, you know, when cutting and passing through materials. You have a lot of control, and yeah, I like the way it passes through materials. So the geometry is done very well. The satin finish on it also looks really nice. I do like that satin finish. And doing utility cuts, since this thing does have a very nice acute tip, it is very good with utility cuts. So opening packages, or you know, cutting anything down a line it's going to work fantastic. You have a lot of leverage down into the material, and then drawing through the material, you have a lot of leverage. It just works really good. And you know, you can kind of see this knife is going to be great at that. You know, it has a very universal blade shape and handle, which is one reason why I really was drawn to it. With the neutral grip, the drop point blade, it just looks extremely useful to me, especially for EDC. It looks like a jack of all trades knife, and looks good doing it. Now, the action is only a reverse flicking or thumb flicking action, which the detent is light in a good way. It's well tuned, so it's not very strong, and you can use the bottom of this fuller or the top. Either one works just fine. The detent is very nice. I have no issue flicking it when I unlock it, I have this little spot right there that hits my finger so it can stop it, and it's past the detent. The detent is right there. So it's right past the detent when it hits my finger, and it's very, very smooth on the drop. The thumb flick isn't as easy as the reverse flick, but it's still pretty easy to do. You just kind of slide up this groove and keep going, basically. Once you get to here, you just kind of flick, and yeah, it works great. Like I said, the ceramic bearings are extremely smooth on it. The clip in and out of the pocket works great. I'm happy with it. It's a small clip, especially for the size of the knife, but it works. It works just fine, and I'm happy with it because, you know, there's been a lot of clips lately that I haven't been happy with, especially from titanium milled clips, but this one works just fine and is nice and smooth in and out of the pocket, and you can do it one-handed without any issues. The stop pin. The stop pin's a good size. I'm happy with that. Actually, I'm actually very happy with that because I don't like to see small stop pins. Let's get into sharpening, and that'll kind of bring us into some bad things. So, sharpening it. By the time I was ready to sharpen it, this thing was dull. I'll show a picture of, or a little clip of the factory edge, but it was dull. It was ready for sharpening. Honing wasn't going to work. So, I did get on the stone and I started sharpening, and I had a little bit of trouble down here at the heel of the blade, but the steel felt good on the stone. The S35, you know, felt like S35 VN. No issues sharpening it. It sharpened up just fine, just like how S35 does, but I did have a little issue towards the heel. And as I went through my stones, I tried to work it out, or tried to sharpen it out. And it was just one of those things. It does happen from time to time with, you know, with sharpening. Sometimes there's like just a spot on the heel, depending on how the choil was done in the plunge grind. And in this case, it did give me a little bit of trouble, at least for freehanding. And it just made me have to work on that area a little bit extra. And you know, that's it. Basically, you just have to work it out, you know, do a little bit of extra work down by the heel. Now, all in all, after I sharpened it, sharpened up great, took a very, very sharp edge. And afterwards, I did strop it after I got off the stone, and it stropped up really good. If you're interested in this strop, you can get one of these from sharpeningsupplies.com. They have awesome, they have very, very nice stropping blocks. They have everything you need for sharpening. Sharpeningsupplies.com has. Let's take a look at the edge, and you can see the choil did get hit a little, or not the choil, the plunge grind. Now that's one of the bad things. It did put a smile on there, which I knew it was going to do just right from the start, because you know, the plunge grind the way it is, and that is one of the negative things about this knife, is they did not do a good plunge. So they basically made the plunge thicker right there, and the edge runs right into the plunge grind instead of making a gap in between the plunge grind and the edge. The edge looks very good. I mean, it's sharpened up really good. It's very, very sharp. No complaints on that. Just the plunge grind and it creating a smile. There's really nothing you can do with a knife like this that's going to do that, because the plunge grind is there. They didn't give you a great sharpening choil, or you know, a good plunge grind. Next thing, for bad things, T6s. I do not like T6s. I would have way rather seen T8s, especially for the price of this knife. I think T8s would have been way, way better. And, you know, I mean, come on, it's not that much, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It would have been very easy to put T8s in here. Now, you notice the clip is screwed in from the inside, so, you know, you do have to take it apart to to take off the clip. I don't know why you need to. It's not reversible. Next bad thing, I don't really like seeing China right there. It's not that big of a deal, but you know, we already have all this other stuff on there, so why would we need that? We know where it's from, so not that big of a deal. Artisan symbol, you know, I wish it was a little smaller, but it's not. That's, you know, like I said, these are just little nitpicks. All in all, I really like the knife. I think the knife is great. Also, you have artisan cutlery right there, which I don't mind that. But all in all, I do like it, but there is one more complaint, which is probably my second biggest complaint next to the choil, which is cutout for the lock bar. I was going to add it into this film. I was going to do it myself, but I wish they would have put a cutout right here. So I'm probably going to do it. It's very easy. I'm just going to take off the scale and sand it down right there, Dremel it out, and cut out a little area, because you see how tight that is. They left a little chamfer on the inside, but it's not like you can really, I mean, it's not very hard, but it'd be nice to just have, you know, a spot right there where I can push the lock bar. Instead, I got to go around to the front, put pressure on the lock bar, scoot it over, and then unlock it. Not that big of a deal, but I nitpick lock bar access. I like good lock bar access. In this case, it does not have good lock bar access. You do have, if you have very big fingers or chubby fingers, it's going to be more of an issue than it is for me. But yeah, all they had to do was just add in, you know, a little notch there. It'd have been great. But all in all, that's really all my complaints. Other than that, this thing is very nice. It is a well done knife. It's not going to be a hard use knife. It's not going to be something you beat on. It's going to be more of strictly EDC, you know, just a cutting knife, a knife you take out, cut something open, put it back. You know, I guess it could be a work knife, but it's not going to be a knife that you can abuse. It is only micarta on this side, so you know, if it was a full titanium knife, I'd say maybe, but you know, it's not a tough knife. It's, like I said, it's more of a lightweight EDC knife. Now let's check out just a couple size comparisons really quick before we get out of here. Here it is next to the Para 2. And then here is another knife that I really like, the Artisan Centauri, which these two really remind me of each other. That's another reason why I wanted to get it, because I really like this knife. This one's a front flipper though, which works extremely well. They also have a mini on this one. This one's the large one, but I can easily reverse flick this knife. So it made me want to try this one because they're so similar. So if you already have one, then just know that they feel very, very similar. I do like the clip on this one better than this one, but they do have like the same milling patterns and everything. Extremely similar. Same choil thing. Actually, this one has a better sharpening choil. I wish they would have did this on the sharpening choil. Look at that sharpening choil. See where the plunge grind is? See where the edge is? That's perfect. If they would have did that here, that would have been great. But they did not. They actually made it really tight to the plunge grind. So that's what I would have liked to have seen. One more size comparison here is the Spyderco Shaman, another one that they're basically the same size. I think the Arion is slightly longer, but I do like the knife a lot, and I'm happy to have it. Like I said, I would really like the other micarta, but I still like the burgundy micarta. Burgundy micarta is really nice, and I do have a lot of knives with red micarta, so it just goes in the collection of the red micarta. So there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.